All right, we are live with an instant reaction podcast for the day one of training camp. Football season is officially here, people. Officially 100% here. Football has started in New England. It's fantastic. It's a great feeling. Thank goodness, because the Red Sox friggin' stink, and so we can stop worrying about the Red Sox and start worrying about the Patriots. Not that we're not always worried about the Patriots here at Pat's Pulpit, but now it's officially season. So let's kind of get into it. Listen, the biggest thing that popped out to me, and I would say to probably anyone that was at practice, was Devonte Parker. He is a man, a full-on man. He was an absolute beast in the red zone, almost uncoverable, as someone said. I think might have been Kyrie Thompson who said that he's basically borderline uncoverable in the end zone. He had two plays, back-to-back plays. First play against Marcus Jones in the slot, where he just posterized Jones. Jones had great coverage on him. It's just nothing he could do. There's nothing he could do because Devonte Parker was a man. And then he had next play against Jack Jones, who held him the entire time. He cut inside, then came back outside to the corner, and made a nice play over there. So, and we're celebrating a little bit after that one too. Got the offense kind of fired up. So Parker looked fantastic. First day, but he looked like that first round pick that was taken by Miami. They gave up a ton to get decent amount at least to get him, and so he looked well worth it today. That was kind of the biggest thing that popped out to me. The next thing, to me, and we talk about Devonte kind of getting the crowd fired up. Kendrick Bourne, man, he brings the energy on every single rep. Every rep, he brings the energy. He's always, smiling. He's always laughing. He's always yelling about something. He's always pumped up. He had a really nice play down the far end of the field against Malcolm Butler, who's covering him. Mac made a perfect throw. He made a diving catch in the end zone, caught it, got the feet down, came up flexing, yelling, hyping the team up. It's just what he does on every single play. He's there having fun, and guys are having fun with him. And so, it's good to see that from him. And you see a lot of that from Mac Jones as well. And I'll kind of get back into the Mac thing in a second. But I do want to say Tyquan Thornton looked pretty good today. It almost looks like he's trying to make too many moves out there, right? Kind of breaks down. But I do think, what's up, Oliver? Thanks for stopping by. But I do think he kind of broke down a little bit, almost like he's in his breakdowns, they aren't as quick as I would like, but I think he's maybe throwing a few different moves there or something like that. So, nevertheless, he looked pretty good, made some nice catches, made a few diving catches today. So I was happy to see that. He was the only rookie outside of Cole Strange, obviously, who was getting really real work with the ones. Jack Jones and Marcus Jones were out there at times, but they were just rotating. Those secondary guys are rotating in and out like crazy. And so, so that you didn't really get to see a ton from the rookies, certainly not from Pierre Strong or from Kevin Harris, but, they were out there at least, which was good. So, tough day for the Trey Nixon hype train, unfortunately. Had a false start in the red zone, had to run a lap, and then Brian Hoyer made it just a terrible throw to him on a fade route, but he got eaten up by Joel Williams, who picked it off. It was a bad throw, but it was, he got zero separation off the line and was not able to get away from Joel Williams, and he just kind of Hoyer just kind of left it up there for Williams, honestly, and Trey wasn't really anywhere near. I mean, he was right there, but couldn't make a play on it. So, but what are you gonna do? It's one day. He looked good, in practice. He looked good when they were, doing individual drills, things like that. So I was still happy to see that. Kind of jumped in and made a few plays here and there, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll see more from him in those team drills as we go. I will say, and we talked about, Kendrick Bourne bringing the energy and having fun. Mac is the same way, man. Mac is always having fun. He's always doing something. So that play where Joe Juan picks off Hoyer, he's got the ball and he's celebrating with the rest of the defense, and he, doing chest bumps and everything else like that. And Mac runs over, rips the ball out of Joe Juan's hands, and runs back to the offense with the ball. Just stupid, just something stupid. But he has fun. He has fun out there, and so does Bourne. And so this team is a lot of fun to watch, in practice, because they do. They have a lot of fun together, and they work hard, and they put their their face of the grindstone or nose of the grindstone, I guess is what is the term. But they work hard, but they have fun while they're out there, and it's fun to watch them out there. So, one guy, Bailey's happy, man. Whew, man, his nerves were shot today. He was all over the place. Air mailed a bunch of passes to air sometimes too. Not even a guy covering him. So he had kind of a rough day today, but first day of camp, he's rookie quarterback. It's probably a million things. His head's spinning. So I expect him to settle in, but he did not look good today. I'll tell you that much. So one guy who played well today, Josh Bledsoe, who was inactive for all season last year, I believe on IR all year last year. Never really got to do anything. He was the 6th-round safety from Missouri last year. He made some nice plays. Made some nice plays in the end zone. He was out there with McCourty a decent amount actually at safety. So, and look, I mean, who knows? Again, first day of camp, they're rotating, secondary guys in and out, but making plays on the ball, those are the types of things that you see. It doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter where you are on the depth chart or who you're out there up against or whatever. He had a play where he knocked the ball away from Jacoby Myers, and he had a play where he knocked the ball away, I believe, from Devonte Parker. So, he was in there making plays, and that's all you can ask for from these guys, early on in camp. So Jalen Mills had a solid breakup against Parker as well, where he went up and got it, and a really nice position on him and knocked the ball away. So that was good to see. I'll tell you what, Damian Harris, he looked good catching the ball. He looked really good catching the ball out of the backfield. He got all the number one reps, or not all of them, obviously, but he got a ton of number one reps at running back. I'm sorry. Looked great coming out of the backfield catching the ball. There was a last play of the day actually. He caught a pass out of the backfield in the flat and scored a touchdown. And offense celebrated while the defense did push-ups, and then they went over and did the hill afterwards. So, but he looked good today. He looked good. Looked crisp running routes, caught everything that was thrown his way. So you might see a little bit more Damian Harris catching the ball to the backfield. You never know. So of course, Mondre, you saw as well. He was out there too, catching passes, and I was impressed with him last year running routes, and so I expect that to only improve this year as well. So offensive line was the same. Well, of course, we know Trent Brown on the left and Isaiah Wynn on the right. DA is out on the PUP list right now. David Andrews out on the PUP list right now, and so James Ferentz was at center, but that doesn't really change anything. But they got to have someone out there, and James Ferentz looks like he's the backup center for now. So we'll see. Of course, Cole Strange and Mike Onwenu kind of rounded out that list. Punt returning was interesting. 4 guys were catching punts today. Those 4 guys were Kendrick Bourne, which was interesting. We hadn't seen that one before. Kyle Duggar, Trey Nixon, my guy, and of course Marcus Jones, who I expect Marcus Jones to be the punt returner this year. We'll see, but he was electric at it. In college. So I expect him to be that guy. But, it could be Duggar. But I think Jones brings something that, that they haven't really had back there with that speed and athleticism at that punt return position. It was special at Houston last year. So I expect him to kind of be that guy eventually, but that's who was working out there. So so we shall see. Matty P looked like he was calling most of the plays. Joe Judge at one point, I couldn't really hear any coaches except for Joe Judge. He's loud. He's very loud. And so, and they look, those guys they're going to rotate in and out, but he had a walkie-talkie. It looked like he was the one that was kind of calling the plays during those sessions. So we'll see. But I think it's going to go back and forth, and we'll kind of see what happens. So Terence Mitchell played corner today, kind of as the number 1 across from Jalen Mills. But like I said, they rotated guys in and out like crazy. Malcolm was out there a ton. Jack Jones is out there. Marcus Jones is out there. So they rotated guys in and out. Really tough to kind of see who the number 1 squad is going to be out there. So it's it's hard to really see that. I did see Raekwon McMillan looked like he was the guy that was next to Jawan Bentley, but again, they're rotating guys in and out like crazy defensively more than they are almost offensively, to be honest with you. So kind of hard to know who's going to be number 1, at any specific position. So, but it was good. And listen, people were excited to be there. The crowd was going crazy when anyone would catch a pass in the end zone, even if it had been, Bailey's at little Jordan Humphrey made a really nice catch in the back of the end zone. Bailey Zappi took like 6 seconds to get rid of the ball, but made a nice throw, and Humphrey dragged the toes and got up for a nice catch in the back of the end zone. So, it was fun to see. And look, they're back, right? We don't really care. It almost doesn't even matter. Like they're back out there. They're running routes. They're making plays. They're, getting each other amped up. At one point there was it Parker and Bourne? I think Parker caught a touchdown pass, and he went over to Kendrick Bourne and tried to give him, try to dap him up or whatever. And McCourty got in between the two of them, almost like he was boxing out Bourne, so he couldn't. It's just funny. They're out there having fun, and they're playing hard. And look, this first week or so is going to be in shells. It's going to be, coaching them up. It's going to be, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's make sure we get the techniques right. Let's make sure we're coaching and teaching everything correctly. And then that's when you're going to start to see, like, okay, now we're going to start to install some things. Now you're going to see that one-on-one battles. Once the full pads come on and you can start seeing, that's what I'm really looking forward to, because, Cole Strange, and then you want to look at what the defensive line, what the linebackers would look like. It's hard to really see what the linebackers are going to look like with just shells on. They're running at 3/4 speed. It's not, even like those flat routes and stuff, like Damian Harris catches the flat route. It's like, okay, but who's the guy that's supposed to be there? Is there going to be another guy on the field? It's hard to see what's going on. So I'm going to be excited to see once those full pads get on. That's going to really be what's interesting. But again, like I said, it's just good to have them back out there. And Mac was firing people up. And again, I don't know how right now as a fan, right? We had Brady forever, right? So we knew we were always like the best team. It's just we were the best team because we had Brady. Sorry, it doesn't matter. But now, to me, I just think they have so much fun. It's so much fun watching Bourne and watching Mac and watching those guys, because they really seem to enjoy being out there on the field. They seem to enjoy being out there with each other. And not that we didn't get that from Brady, because we did. But having that is really nice. And I think that, having a young team that kind of gets along well and has some fun together, it's fun to watch, for us. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there the next few days for sure. And then I'll be back a few days next week as well. So if you do stop by, come and say hello to me. Come chat me up and watch these guys dominate. And again, that's the biggest thing. You want my number one takeaway, right? If we walk out and you say, okay, what's the one thing that stuck out to you more than anything else? Is Devonte Parker. I mean, Devonte Parker looked like the best receiver on the field almost at all times, right? Bourne looked good, and Jacoby Myers looked good, and Nelson Aguilar had a few nice catches, and Tyquan Thornton had a few nice catches. But like Devonte Parker he was almost unstoppable in the red zone. And he showed what, got him drafted in the first round by the Dolphins, and why the Patriots gave up, a third round pick and more to get him, because he still looks like he can do that. Now, again, can he do that over a full season? Can he do that when the full pads are on and we're at full speed? I don't know. Right. But that's something that bears to be seen. But I think that's something for me that if that's my number one takeaway, that's the thing for me. And Ben asked a question about Tyquan Thornton. Did his speed stand out at all? The thing was, they never did anything deep. They never did he really didn't even run across the field that much. They were doing, quick ins, quick outs, slants, things like that. So you really didn't see the speed so much because they didn't run anything deep, right? I think they will in the next few days. And so we'll get a chance to see that. But, his quickness in and out of cuts, you can see that kind of that burst right off the line. But, as far as like the speed blowing you away or anything, they didn't do enough where you could really see that, right? They didn't run anything. I don't think they ran a route longer than 10 or 15 yards today. So, as they go, we'll get a chance to see that more, but we just didn't see a ton of that. So we'll see. In the running back position, Ty Montgomery's the only other guy that I wanted to point out. He got a ton of run in the slot. He got a ton of run. Looked like it's a third down back. Kind of looked like it was Damian Harris. And then when it was like kind of the third down situation, shotgun situation, that Ty Montgomery was next to him. So I wouldn't be surprised. I kind of expected that heading into it, that he would kind of take that James White role until White comes back. But I would like to see if Pierre Strong gets a shot there. We'll see. But I don't know if he will or not. But we'll see. It's funny, they were doing warm-ups, and And J.J. Taylor was next, and after him was 54. And I'm like, is that Pierre Strong? I'm like, he looks like a mammoth. I'm like, he's not that big, is he? And he wasn't. He just like he was standing next to J.J. Taylor, so he looks like an absolute monster. He's only 5'11", but J.J. Taylor's like 5'6", so it makes a big difference. So, but either way, but we'll see. Long way to go, but again, football is back. Football is back, and there's a lot to be excited about this team, and hopefully you're excited as well. And we're going to be sticking around Friday night. I'm going to have a live show as well, kind of recapping everything. I'll have a special guest with me as well for that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.